My name is Izabella Flora Kubiak. I'm graduating with a bachelor's in multimedia journalism and mass communication from the University of New Mexico.
My name is Gillian Barkhurst. I'm a BA in multimedia journalism and mass communication, and then I also have a minor in Spanish.
My name is Elizabeth Secor. I am majoring in journalism and mass communication with a concentration in multimedia studies, and I am minoring in professional and technical writing.
So at first, when I joined UNM as a freshman, I always had this proclivity for Lois Lane. I was obsessed with her as a kid. I thought she was really cool as a reporter. At first, I didn't think I was funny enough or good enough to pursue journalism, so I actually started in business. And obviously I'm really happy I made that transition. No offense to business students, but I think journalism is the place to be.
I've always wanted to tell stories since I was a little kid, I think, and at one point I clicked that this was a way that I could do it that actually impacted people and made a difference in my community, because I'm from Albuquerque and I'm from New Mexico, so for me, participating and telling the stories of the people from where I'm from is really important. And it was, you can write books and you can tell made-up stories, but I think there's such a wealth of knowledge.
When I was looking at colleges, I really wanted to pick one with a journalism department specifically, and not a lot of colleges have that. And then one day I got a letter in the mail from UNM that was like, hey, you're in our school and here's a scholarship for in-state tuition.
I think the first struggle I had with CNJ was probably switching into the program, which Sarah Volden, the communications advisor, did an amazing job at helping me make a smooth transition, so kudos to her and the department. I felt very loved and accepted immediately. The classes to get into, it was a really good time. I would say aside from that, definitely political journalism was sort of like a kick you in the butt, slap you in the face. It was an animal that I never thought I would tame, but very grateful to have the opportunity to deal with.
This age is just a tough one, right? I think everyone's trying to figure out what they're doing and how they're doing it, and going through the growing pains. And I think that my education and going through this path was kind of like a through line that kept me grounded in some kind of crazy times, personally and interpersonally and mentally. So for me, that's kind of having this helped a lot navigate those kind of day-to-day things that you're just going to go through no matter what.
I think the biggest challenge was one, being away from home. It was the first time I was away from home, but being here in New Mexico with my aunt and uncle was pretty nice, and just kind of making the friends I made here. But I did get very homesick very often. So always having really interesting classes, interviewing or conflict management, and just being able to be okay, well, I'm really enjoying my time here at school because I have a lot of stuff that I'm interested in learning in.
The most important thing I did was get out into the field with the advanced reporting class with Gwyneth Dolan. I actually did an internship my junior year with New Mexico Newsport, and I think that really prepared me for the workforce, especially when I took that class for the legislative session.
Summer after my freshman year, I started interning at the Albuquerque Journal. And so I was a night cops reporter, so any grisly crime in Albuquerque that happened, I knew about it. And I met a lot of really great people there, and actually when I graduate in 2 weeks now or something, I'm gonna go work there full time. So that kind of was full circle, and that was probably my proudest accomplishment, was just seeing what an actual newsroom is and getting to know people and kind of meeting people that would be my mentors.
Through CNJ, I was the head editor of New Mexico Newsport my junior year. I had a team of interns that I worked with, and I helped publish the works from the classes, so that was really, really fun. I also was encouraged by my professor Gwyneth Dolan to apply for the New York Times Core program. And my junior year, I was one of 19 students in the nation to join that program and got a mentor from the New York Times, Jason Bailey. And then an accomplishment that's kind of recent is I'm going to be the speaker on Friday, which is nerve-wracking, but I think it'll be fun.
The communications and journalism department really is sort of a tight-knit family community. I've always felt very helped by all my professors. I would say that if you're seeking the news world, or if you want to be introduced to something like lobbying or even policy and politics, I would say communication and journalism is a great place to start.
They are very active about connecting you with real life, real world experiences that are going to be infinitely more valuable than anything that you have, here in the classroom. So I would say that was something that really benefited me, and I think really will benefit for future students and also graduates, just the fact that they have the local news fellowship, so you basically have a guaranteed job after graduation, is fantastic.
So I've seen it grow a lot since my freshman year. We were very tiny, and now I think there's about 50 graduates on Friday, which is really amazing, because when my friend Aldo did it, I think there was maybe 20 of them. So it's grown a lot, but I still think it's a pretty small program, which is nice because you get a lot of one-on-one time and meeting up with the professors. It's nice to be in a class and a professor that you've had be oh, I remember you, I know you, and I know how you work, because then you kind of feel oh, I'm being seen. And unlike in a lot of the other programs that are 200 kids per class, there'll be maybe 15, and you also get to know a lot of the fellow students you're graduating with.
Oh my gosh, I know I said the most difficult part was the political journalism, but I think that was also my favorite. It was really cool talking to senators up in Santa Fe. Very challenging, so I'm not taking that back, but it was definitely the coolest thing I've ever done in college. Getting able to talk to them about policies that are actively changing the New Mexico landscape was intense, but also very rewarding.
I really enjoyed doing the State House reporting. So we this was my actual last credit that I ever took in CNJ. We went up to the Roundhouse during the legislative session once a week, and we did reporting from there. You're hounding down legislators in the hallways and talking. There's so many people there all the time, and I don't know, even for me, I've had experiences, but it feels kind of the golden age of journalism, when you can just call or email someone, you had to really track them down in person. So it felt like that kind of old school, kind of fun way of reporting. So I really enjoyed that.
I definitely think, like I said, the small classes size and a lot of the classes that are offered, I think just also the encouragement to go out and get an internship, work for the Daily Lobo. A lot of classes have, or if you email the Daily Lobo and get published in there, you'll get extra credit. We have emails every week that are here's potential internships and jobs to pursue. So it's very we want to make sure our students succeed, and we're going to help you find ways to do that.
Well, I'm actually pursuing a master's in sports broadcast at Arizona State University, so I'll be moving to Phoenix and pursuing a job as a sports reporter.
I am really excited to just be able to do things full-time.
I'm going to be working with Albuquerque, the Journal, through the New Mexico Fellowship. So I think just being able to jump into that with 2 feet and just start writing and working with a big news company, because that's going to be really different, and I want to be able to do the best I can.